Shift Youth! Welcome to Shift Live on our Friday night. So good to have you joining us tonight. My name is Tim, one of the youth pastors here at New Hope Baptist. So good to have you joining us tonight. Adam, wanna chime in, mate? Adam? Adam!
Oh, Tim, I'm trying to catch up to them. There's like a 20-second delay we found out. So we've got to make sure that we're a little bit behind so that when they watch live, we're actually live. It's science, mate. Come on.
I'll trust you, mate.
Oh, sure. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for joining us tonight. Massive shout out to anyone who's joining us for the first time. Make sure to hit us up in the comments if you're here for the first time and one of our leaders will say hi to you. And also, any youth groups joining us from other churches, welcome, and we hope that you enjoy our study tonight. We are in for a ripper time tonight. Tim, what have we got on?
What do we got on, Ad? So we've got a Kahoot coming up in a few minutes. We're going to do another strange internet thing, and thank goodness I don't have to do it this week because last week I'm scarred. I am scarred.
And Timmy is going to come and hit us with an amazing message from the book of Esther. So you have got so much to look forward to tonight.
Later on, we're also going to go into our online small groups. Now, if you're new to New Hope Shift and you haven't actually signed up for our online small groups yet, you got to go to our website at newhope.net.au/youth, and you have to go to our online small groups and fill out the online rego form. Adam, would you like to hear a joke?
Oh, Tim, I would love to hear a joke.
I'm too pressure. I'm not very good at these. So, hey, Google, can you tell me a joke?
Oh, Google does this.
They may not be stories, but I do have funny material. Ask me for a joke.
Okay. Tell me a joke, Google.
Why did the romantic call a glazier when experiencing chest pain? He had a heart of glass.
A heart of
That's actually
glass.
more a Blondie joke.
That is shocking.
That is a shocking joke.
That is
We
shocking.
promise that tonight the jokes will be a little bit better than that as we go on.
Oh, Adam, don't promise anything we can't live up to.
Other thing to keep in mind, guys, is that you can always hit us up during the week on our social media. So we've got Facebook, Instagram, lots of information on the website. We've even got a new Bible plan that's going to be starting tomorrow. So you can head to newhope.net.au/youth, sign up for our Bible plan, or you can even go to the link in our Instagram bio and sign up there. It's going to be a good one this time, Tim. It's going to be good.
So good. Right, everyone, time to jump onto Kahoot. Jump onto kahoot.it, and we are going to get our Kahoot game up and running this week. Fear ye not, there isn't going to be... Well, I don't really know how it's going to work this week, Adam. You're more in the know of this.
Kahoot's got this special feature. I think you're all going to see the questions as you play along. So you've got to try and still be really quick because you'll get extra points for answering the question nice and quick. We have got the Kahoot up on the screen. The code is 0706761. That is 0706761. Timmy, I reckon I'm going to play along.
Play along, Ads, mate.
Yeah,
Go for it.
I'm gonna jump them on my phone. I'm gonna play along this week.
Go for it. While you're signing up, I'll help you join in with a little bit of useless facts that you will never need in your life ever. Did you know that more Monopoly money is printed in a year than real money throughout the whole world?
I would believe that.
How do those Parker brothers sleep at night?
I reckon that's true because I reckon people use credit cards more these days.
Oh yeah,
compared to a
right
bit of
back.
Monopoly money.
1/4 of the bones in your body are in your feet. Now, I'm skeppo on that one.
Doesn't sound quite right to me, does it?
I don't know about that. Caesar salad has nothing to do with any of the Caesars.
Huh.
It was first concocted in a bar in Tijuana, Mexico.
Tijuana,
in the
Mexico.
1920s.
That is exciting. Who would have thought that it was Tijuana, Mexico?
What else have we got here?
Remember to head to kahoot.it 0706761 and you can join us for a special Kahoot.
This is a shocking one, Adam. You're going to love this.
I'm going to love this one, Tim.
Right-handed people live, on average, 9 years longer than left-handed people.
That is such a shame. If you're a left-handed person, why don't you write in the comments below and prove to us that you can live for longer than us? I reckon there's some special left-handed people out there.
Oh, special indeed. That's the definition of left-handed, isn't it?
All right, Timmy, I think we are good to go. Let's hit enter and let's go into our Kahoot.
Let's jump into it.
So you can play along at home while we've got our Kahoot running. Got like 60 participants. This is very exciting. Keep going. Ooh, we're going to be playing as Gentle Pigeon. Gentle Pigeon. All right, let's go through. 3, 2, 1. Oh, Tim, I'm excited. I'm excited for this one.
What do we got? 1 of 10.
Who is not one of the Seven Dwarfs? I'm assuming this is Disney's Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. Who's not one of them? We've got Bashful, Surprise, Dopey, and Doc. Oh, do you know the answer, Tim?
I'm not going to lie to you, Adam. I've got no clue.
You've got no clue?
I
do know the answer because I wrote the Kahoot. And I think it's going to be revealed in just a sec. It is Surprise. That's right, Surprise wasn't one of the Seven Dwarfs in Disney's Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. Fabulous Rabbit has got 1,000 points on that one. Well done to Fabulous Rabbit. Swift Octopus coming in on close behind. Oh, true or false? Mickey Mouse was the first cartoon character to receive a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame.
Rate that. Ooh.
Do you reckon he was first? Or do you reckon there was someone like Betty Boop or Shrek?
Shrek.
I don't know.
Adam, I don't know. I'm not.
Someone from the Flintstones?
I'm not a Disney movie buff, mate.
I think this is just a real life thing.
I'm not even a real life person, Adam. I'm an enigma.
Let's see, who is it? True. Disney was the first cartoon. Mickey Mouse was the first. Let's see how we go. Fabulous Rabbit looking good. Sturdy Goat coming in. Swift Octopus moving up the ranks. Well done, guys.
Ooh, tie for first. Ooh, Lord of the Rings.
Which is not one of the Lord of the Rings films. Oh.
I reckon I've got this one, Ads.
You reckon you do?
Yes, and I'll let you know my thoughts in 12 seconds.
Oof. While we've got that 12 seconds panning, have you got another fact for me, Tim?
Absolutely, I did. Did you know that there is approximately 1 chicken for every human being in the world?
1 chicken for every human being.
We've got to watch out for the overthrowing of the chickens.
Battle of the Five Armies.
Battle of the Five Armies.
I think that's a Hobbit film.
I wouldn't know.
It's one of the Hobbit films, yeah.
You've picked
Fabulous Rabbit going through. Ooh, Gentle
tied
Pigeon.
for
We're
first.
73rd. This is no good for us. What's happening? Put the Twilight Saga in the correct order.
Oh, mate, my lovely girlfriend Claire should get this in about half a second.
Let's see how quickly people can get here. We've got a bit of a longer time on this one. Tim, did you know that 90% of all species that have become extinct have been birds?
Aren't I glad I don't have wings, Adam?
Aren't you glad that you don't have wings? Most call collect calls are made on Father's Day. I have no idea what a call collect call is, Tim. Do you know what a call collect call is?
Oh, if I lived in the 60s or 70s, Adam, I might have a shot.
If you lived in the 60s or 70s and know what a call collect call is, if you're one of our youth parents, hop in the comments on Facebook or YouTube and let us know. I want to read these afterwards. I want to find out what a call collect call is.
10% of the Russian government's income comes from the sale of vodka.
Interesting. Very interesting.
It's almost as good as your Disney.
It's almost as good as that, guys. Avengers Endgame is the highest grossing movie of all time, not taking inflation into account. I don't know.
That's thrown a spanner in there, Ads. I
always do my inflation calculation.
Do my inflation accounting, so I'm useless at this.
Oh,
Robert Downey Jr. That is some great facial hair.
it's some good. True.
True.
Nice.
Wowzers.
Good on Avengers. Is it because they did that sneaky second release? Fabulous Rabbits are doing good. Adorable Iguana coming up the ranks. Well done. We've got another
Halfway
quiz.
through.
What's the highest grossing foreign language film at the US box office?
Ooh, that's a great question.
We've got some ripper films on there. Parasite was one of this year's films, or last year's.
yeah.
March of the Penguins. Interesting. That's in French. Did you know that? That was
I did
originally
not
in
know that.
French. We've got A Separation, which is a film I did in year 12 for a school project. And Passion of the Christ.
There you go.
Highest grossing foreign language film. You know,
There you
Tim, I
go.
watched it 2 weeks ago for Easter. Blue Mind, if you haven't watched Passion of the Christ, guys, have a chat to your parents and see if you can watch it together. It's on SBS right now for free. It's confronting, but it's really incredible to see the story of Jesus and the Easter story. It's pretty cool.
And you can learn some Latin while you do it.
Learn some Latin. It's good fun. Put the Indiana Jones movies in order. Tim, have you seen the Indiana Jones movies?
I've seen the first one. And even though I've seen the first one, I'm still looking at those 4 names and couldn't tell you which one's the first one.
Oh, we're moving something
yeah,
around.
I
reckon Raiders might be first. Is it Last Crusade or Temple of Doom?
That's our one clue. Raiders is first. Thanks, Ads. I needed that one.
That's the clue.
Great film. Great film. Raiders.
It's a lovely it's a good movie actually. If you haven't watched Indiana Jones, do yourself a treat, give it a watch. It's good time.
Right, Ads, did you know a giraffe can go without water for longer than a camel?
Longer than a camel? I thought camels were like filled with fat and water so that they could stay for a long time.
Guess they must just be stacking it in their necks or something. Ads. There we go. Raiders, Temple of Doom, Last Crusade, and Kingdom.
Awesome. Let's go to the next question.
There we go.
Oh, adorable iguana and cute wolf. Well done, guys. Well done. What is not one of Woody's catchphrases? This is Sheriff Woody from Toy Story. Which one doesn't he say? So there's reach for the sky, howdy there bullseye, you're my favorite deputy, and there's a snake in my boot. Which one doesn't he say?
Ooh, great question, Ads. Been a long time since I've browsed the Toy Stories.
Howdy there bullseye.
Howdy there bullseye.
Doesn't
there
say howdy there bullseye. It's not one of his string catchphrases. Ooh, cute wolf coming up, adorable iguana, and swift octopus. Right behind proud duck.
Say that 10
well
times
done.
in a row.
Swift octopus, swift octopus.
According to Shrek, love a Shrek question. Why are ogres like onions?
They make you cry. They have layers.
They are are smelly.
They're smelly.
I don't think it's that one.
They are needed for good bolognese. Ogres are definitely needed for good bolognese. What's the answer here? They have layers. That's right. Ogres have layers.
Do love a good bolognese though.
Oh, how's our leaderboard looking? Cute wolf, swift octopus looking pretty good. We are so far behind, Tim. We're not doing good. In Pitch Perfect, Becca auditions for the Barton Bellas with the Kelly Clarkson hit song, Since You've Been Gone.
Ooh.
Does she?
Bit of Pitch Perfect. Adam, why are we doing a Pitch Perfect?
Oh, I think we're going to find out in just a second why we're doing a
totally
Pitch
random
Perfect
occurrence this is.
Let's see.
Totally unplanned.
False. She doesn't. That is not how she does that.
No.
Tim, do you want to just have a
That
chat?
wraps up our Kahoot for the week. And congratulations to first place, Cute Wolf. You are this week's winner of our Kahoot. Message us on Instagram or Facebook if you are the winner, Cute Wolf, and we will line you up for a prize when we see you next in the building. And also congrats to all the other guys who made the top 5 as well. We're going to do something that is just strange. I've got no words for it. So, hey guys, we're going to shoot to Adam. Enjoy. What you doing?
Just browsing some funny stuff on the internet, Tim.
That sounds like fun, Adam.
Do you ever just want to do many of these things on a public forum or live on the internet, Tim?
No, not really, Adam. But I'm getting the vibes that we're going to anyway.
Adam and Tim's strange internet things. That is absolutely amazing. Hey guys, I hope you liked our new opener. Welcome to Adam and Tim's strange internet things. There's a specific reason why we left that question right at the end of the Kahoot, and it's because Becca's actual audition song was the Cup song. There's a few people out there who definitely know it. I've definitely seen a few girls do it at youth camps. I've always walked past and I've always been jealous of the fact that you can do the Cup song. It's some kind of like a clap, a tap, a slap, a swipe. I couldn't do it. For years, I pretended that I knew how to do it and I just kind of clapped along and we would walk away like I could do it. But the truth was, I had no idea how to do it. So I spent this week learning how to do it. Why don't we check out how I went? Sure, do the Cup song. That'll be a good idea. Okay, cool. Let's watch this. Yep, clap, clap, tap. Oh, this is gonna be harder than I thought. Okay, cool, that's it. You got this. Stretch it out. Get those hands ready. Nah, one more time. Cool. Quick prayer. Here we go. First try, can I do this? No, watch again. Yep. I'm kind of getting it. Oh, the video's so quick. How do I do this? Anna Kendrick, how did you do this? Flip it, maybe? Tap? Oh, come on, ads. You got this. The Eye of the Tiger. Tap, that's it. Switch. Oh, nearly. There's a switch in there somewhere. Kinda. Oh, I need help. What am I going to do? Oh, I know. I know. I got to be the cup. Got to look at the cup. Got to understand the cup. Feel it. Understand it. Embrace it. Be the cup. You can do this. It's all in my head. Let's go. That's it. Nearly there. Yep, I think I've got it. Be the cup. Be the cup. All right, guys, I think I can do it. I'm going to do it live for the... Oh, I'm so nervous. I'm so nervous. All right, I can do this. Okay.
Nice ads. Faster, mate. Faster, mate. Show 2014 who's boss. Go ads.
Oh,
Nice, mate.
I did it. I learned it. It wasn't quite as polished as it probably could have been, but I still learned it. Guys, you are in for an absolute treat tonight. We have got our very own Tim Spencer, youth pastor for junior high, who's going to be sharing tonight on Esther. So why don't you turn your attention to Tim and let's get ready for a ripper.
Hey guys, thank you so much again for joining us tonight. We're having a lot of fun. That intro is going to be something that scars me for the rest of my life. That was shocking. This week I'm going to share a message to you about the story of Esther. Last week Adam shared with us, week one, shared with us the story of Jonah, the prophet who rebelled. And Adam asked us the question, are you okay with God loving your enemies? To check that message out, you can go to our YouTube, which is youtube.com/New Hope Melb, or you can go to our website, which is newhope.net.au/youth. This week I want to ask a question. Where is God in times like this? Where is God in times like this? It can be very disheartening and frustrating and saddening, annoying and heartbreaking to live in times like this. With the coronavirus forcing us to live our lives in a restricted way, people suffering and some even dying, it can be very easy for Christians and non-Christians alike to ask, where is God? So I'm going to explore this question, this idea through the book of Esther. It's a book in the Old Testament. The book of Esther is a beautifully composed piece of literature in the Bible. If you want to know like the ins and outs of how it's written and like the nuance and stuff, it's totally worth your 10 minutes. Go and check out the Bible Project video. It's super cool. So the book of Esther, it's only 10 chapters. It only occupies about 4 or 5 pages of your Bible. It's a short, gripping story of 2 Jewish people. Their names are Esther and Mordecai. Now, there are lots of like little nuance and side plots and pieces to the storyline. You really can't summarize it in like 3 dot points. So I'm going to try and do my best to give you like the most comprehensive story, but also try and keep it pretty short. So Esther is an orphan who is taken in by her older cousin, a man named Mordecai, who takes her in as his daughter. Our story begins, chapter 1, with a king living in a place called Susa. He's holding a big old feast celebrating, well, himself, and he asks his queen to come and show herself off because she's very beautiful, but she refuses. This annoys the king so much that he ends up banishing her from his sights. So the most natural thing to do, obviously, is to hold a beauty pageant to replace it. Take note, guys. Don't do that. Girls don't like that at all. So he sends out notice across all the land he possessed, all of his territory. It spanned all the way from India to Ethiopia. And if you have no idea where those places are, we can thank the good Lord for Google Maps. It's enormous. So Esther is entered into the pageant. In the book, it is said that she is very, very beautiful. And she finds favour with the king and wins the pageant. She becomes the new queen, but doesn't tell the king about her family heritage. She doesn't tell him that she is a Jew. Just as she becomes the queen, Mordecai discovers, the cousin, that the men are scheming to kill the king. He immediately tells Esther, who goes and tells the king, who then praises Mordecai for saving his life. And all is well and good in the world and across the nations. Obviously, our story needs to get complicated somewhere, so enter from stage left our villain, a man named Haman. He becomes the second in command under the king, and the king makes a decree that everyone must bow to Haman as a sign of respect and reverence. But Mordecai didn't bow because he was Jewish, for he upheld the first commandment given to the Jewish people, which most of you should remember from kids' church is, "You shall have no other gods before me." This annoyed Haman so much, and hate and anger dwelled up inside of him, and he wanted to kill Mordecai. But because his hatred grew so big, he formed a plan not just to kill Mordecai, but to kill the whole Jewish people. Haman made a plan. He went to the king and convinced him to make a law that on a certain day, anyone can go and kill any Jew. This leaves Mordecai and Esther desperately heartbroken that their friends, their family, their loved ones, their heritage, their beautiful traditions will all be brought to death and ended, all gone in an instant. Mordecai is so upset that he goes through the streets at night crying, weeping loudly and wailing. He just could not hold in his sadness. So this part in the story, things aren't looking too good for Esther and Mordecai. It's desperate, it's really hard, it's confusing, and they're really the only hope left for the Jewish people. So Mordecai goes and asks Esther if she can go and reason with the king, saying, "It might be for this very reason that you were made queen." Now don't be fooled. What Mordecai is asking, this isn't an easy thing to do for Esther. It was complicated. To enter into the king's presence, you needed to be invited or summoned. To enter into the king's presence uninvited was punishable by death unless the king held out his golden scepter towards you. To make it even more complicated, the king hadn't requested to see Esther in over a month. So Esther replies to Mordecai's request with these haunting words, fully aware of the potential consequences. She says, "I'll go, and if I die, I die." She goes and puts on her royal getup. She enters into the presence of the king. And this is the pivotal tension moment of our story. This is the moment that if the king accepts Esther, hope is still there. But if the king doesn't receive Esther, Esther dies and all hope is lost for the Jewish people. And at this moment, Esther enters towards the king and he is pleased with her and he holds out his royal scepter. Big sigh of relief. Our story continues. Not only did the king accept her presence, but he also offered up to Esther half of the land that he possessed. And this is a way of the king saying, "Any request that you ask of me, it shall be given to you." That is huge. And because of that, our story starts to begin to sway and turn the way of Esther and Mordecai. Esther asks the king and Haman, our villain, to join her at a banquet the next day. The first banquet happens. When it happens, the king asks what Esther's request is. And Esther says, "Another banquet tomorrow, and I'll give you my request then." Both the king and Haman were pretty happy with that request. Obviously, Esther must throw a pretty decent spread to have a banquet on a second day. After the first banquet, Haman leaves really happy, but his anger comes back and possesses him again, and it's dwelled up against Mordecai and the Jewish people once again. And he goes and he enters his house and he is angry. Now remember, at this point in the story, no one knows that Esther is a Jew just yet. The only person who knows is her cousin Mordecai. So here comes another pivotal part in the story that really sways things in the way of Esther and Mordecai. That night, our king, he could not sleep. So he asks his servant to go and collect the royal chronicles. Basically, it's a written history of his rule as king. Now, when I first thought that, when he wanted to hear like all the things he had done read to him, I thought it was a little bit like full of himself, a little bit self-obsessive. But really, when I think about it, I can't imagine it's any too different to when we lay at home in bed and we just scroll through our photos before we go to bed. Our king doesn't have Instagram, and so he was probably a bored dude and needed something to send him to sleep. So finally, he's reading to a part before in the story, and he remembers Mordecai saving his life. When Mordecai discovered that there was a plot to kill the king had totally forgotten, and he remembered it in an instant. And he wanted to honour Mordecai because he forgot to before. So in a really ironic turn of events, our villain Haman is actually asked by the king to go to Mordecai, to put him on a royal horse, put him in royal clothing, and to escort him around the whole city, proclaiming, "Check out how good this bloke is." That was an order of the king. And this was the most embarrassing and the worst experience for Haman at that time. And it's about to get a whole lot worse for him. The second banquet begins. There's lots of drinking and lots of food. And finally, the king asks Esther, "What is your request?" Esther takes a moment and she replies, "My life. Give me my life, my king. Spare my people, for we have been sold for destruction." The king then asks, "Who did this to you?" And Esther said, "The adversary and the enemy is this vile man Haman." Boom. This is the moment that our story is finally coming to a close and the Jewish people are finally looking like being saved. The king is enraged. He cannot believe that Haman would plot such a thing right underneath his nose to destroy the people of his queen and the man who he honoured that saved his life. The king goes out for a stroll in his courtyards and his anger just will not subside. He comes back and proclaims that Haman should be killed. Yeah, the Old Testament was a bit full on and over the top at times, but that's just how it was. Our story then comes to an end with Mordecai being promoted to second in command, and Esther is still the queen, with a counter law being made that the Jewish people that will keep the Jewish people safe from destruction. So in the very end, we finally get our happy ending: sunsets, rainbows, lollipops, the whole lot. Cool story, right? It's one of my faves. You can go and read that. It only takes about half an hour. I listen to it on the Bible app. It only takes about half an hour. It's one of my faves. I really recommend going and reading the whole thing. It's really cool. So I come back to my original question that I asked at the start. Where is God in times like ours? Now, an interesting thing about this story is that God actually isn't mentioned once at all. In fact, it's one of two books in the whole Bible that doesn't mention God by name. The other book is Song of Songs, and it doesn't really make for some easygoing, light evening reading. So why doesn't the book of Esther mention God? Well, it's purposefully written this way, and it's not an afterthought. And in fact, the name Esther, which is a Hebrew name, it actually translates to the word hidden. It's written this way to reveal to us something about our Father in heaven. In the midst of this story, when everything was going wrong and it looked like God's holy people were doomed for destruction, when Esther and Mordecai were heartbroken, they were annoyed, they were confused and frustrated and lost, the tide began to change. And looking back at it, there were things that happened that can only be attributed to God in this story. The perfect timing of it all shows us that there is something greater than coincidence and chance. There's no way that Esther just became queen on a whim, or that Mordecai just happened to overhear a plan to kill the king by chance, or that the king couldn't sleep on the perfect night and just happened to read the Chronicles and just happened to remember to read about Mordecai who saved his life, and he just happened to read it at the most precisely perfect time to come through for the Jewish people. From the get-go, God worked and knitted together a plan right from the very beginning to benefit his chosen people, the people that he loved. God may hide himself in this story, but he isn't absent. Far from absent. In this story, God is showing us that he is the great provider, that he is the holy protector, that he is a waymaker. As a worship pastor, I couldn't resist. I'm sorry. He shows us that he can still be a loving, caring God, and he doesn't have to do it with the fire coming down from a mountain, or he doesn't have to part the seas, or he doesn't have to crash city walls down, or burn a bush, or have a loud, thunderous voice coming from a cloud. He doesn't even need a still, quiet whisper. Our God can move in beautiful, delicate, mysterious, and seemingly invisible ways. In times like ours that we find ourselves in, God is not absent. We just might not be able to see him. This might even be a time that we get to know and experience God in a new and fresh way, like we've never known before. Just like in the story of Esther and Mordecai, we need to trust in God in this time. We need to trust in his goodness. We need to trust in his word, trust in his truth, trust in his faithfulness, even when we cannot see him or hear him or even feel him moving when we feel lost or confused. We need to continue loving and seeking after him, and we need to keep sacrificially loving others. Every moment in my life when I've come up against something I didn't know how to process or work out, I was left in confusion, I didn't know where to turn, didn't know where God was, not sure that he existed, wasn't sure he knew I existed, doubted myself, doubted my surrounds, questioned everything I've believed, questioned my choices, changed my mind, wasn't sure why or how I ended up where I was, fallen over, broken, upset, sad, you name it. At the end of those times, and yes, those times do end, I've come out of them better and stronger and more complete of a person than I was before. The one thing that I've learned and keep learning is that my God is faithful, and that my God is just so good, and that I need nothing else in my life to satisfy me. I can look back at each of those times and trace back to a moment when God was holding me, when he was teaching me, when he was caring for me, when he was loving me, when he was carrying me, when he was making a path for me, when he was shielding me and guiding me. But most of the time I never saw it in the moment. God moves in beautiful mystery. His ways, his works, we may never know until the day that we come face to face. But I know that with confidence that my God loves us deeply, and that in all things he works for the good of those who love him. Trust in him. Trust in his goodness. Trust in his faithfulness. Trust in his word. Trust in his Spirit who guides us. Pray to him with honesty and from the depths of your heart. He will never leave you nor forsake you. That is his promise to us. Put your faith in that. Let me pray a prayer of blessing over you to finish our time together tonight. I pray that you just discover how beautiful God is in this time. I pray that you can discover his protection and his provision. I pray that you may have eyes to see what he is doing in this time, that you can grow in an understanding of him and know him in a newer and fresh way. May you be filled with hope. May the Lord bless you. May he keep you. May his face shine upon you. May the Lord be gracious to you. May he turn his face towards you and give you peace. Amen. We're going to jump into our online small groups now. Enjoy your weekend. It's been great having you join us this evening. Grace and peace from all of us here at Shift Live.